there's an illegal immigrant. Yeah, guys, hold on to your seats. This is going to be shocking. But a news story has come up that there was an illegal immigrant, a Colombian woman living illegally in the United States, living under stolen identity for 2 decades, improperly received $400,000 of taxpayer money in various assistance. Aaron, she also voted in the 2024 presidential election. I'm told this is not happening. So this is clearly the first case of this we've ever seen, and more. There's no way that more will continue to come out as the Trump administration digs his heels in. But, how shocked are you?
Oh, I'm shocked. I'm in disbelief. I can't imagine how this. I think there are a few things here. First, I was trying to figure out what city she voted in. Right, that would be very interesting. What state this was happening in? We know this is happening across the country, but we're told first that it's not happening. Then now that the story is coming out, and to your point, I'm certain that hundreds or thousands more stories and more examples like this are going to come out, and we will transition into the it's not happening to it's a good thing that it's happening. That's what the left likes to do once we actually discover this. I would say, though, the most shocking part of the article when I was looking at this was that she also had a real ID. Do you know how hard it is to get for a citizen of the United States to get a real ID right now? I know there is a trend on social media about how difficult it is. I want to know how she got a real ID when actual citizens cannot.
Yeah, that's a good point. The real ID, no, that's the legit one. You can't screw around with that one. And again, we got to stop terrorism because that was put in place 25 years ago. Yeah, Stephen Gardner, what I think is interesting here is the extent to which this lady was stealing from the public and doing all this sort of stuff. My concern, and I'm wondering if you share a similar concern, is the people that aren't so out and proud and stealing almost $500,000 from the American taxpayer kind of still sliding under the radar there and voting in elections and getting, benefits that they shouldn't otherwise have. How many of these people do you think we're out there?
There's got to be hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, I thought this was Letitia James at first. that
It
hat,
might be.
Yeah, we got to make sure we have the right photo of people. But I want to be very cautious because it's racist to talk about IDs and elections in the same sentence. American citizens that can go to concerts and open bank accounts. To ask them to get an ID to vote, that would be really hard. But here's an illegal immigrant milking the American taxpayer for $400,000, and she manages to get an ID. Tells me maybe it's not that hard to get an ID after all. But, I used to do financial planning before becoming big on YouTube, and the average American earns around $2 million in their lifetime and has nowhere near $400,000. So the fact that she was able to steal $400,000 from the American people. This lady is an exceptional con artist. We've also got to get her out of the country. This is just ridiculous.
My guess is the Democrats would be fleeing to that country to go visit this brave citizen who may possibly be Letitia James, because she was defrauding the Section 8 housing system. Tish James is accused of defrauding the loan system in the houses. Who knows? We actually maybe that's the case. Before we go to the break, Aaron, the markets took a turn today again. At least the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, former newspapers are saying, because Trump said, hey, we might add some other tariffs. Why are people so enthusiastic about immediately jumping in and trade? Why is it so volatile when this happened like a couple weeks ago, and everything is fine? What's with the immediate panic?
I don't know if you actually know this about me, but I started my career as a trader on the trading floor at Goldman Sachs. So I have a lot of opinions on this. One thing I do want to start by saying is that I do not want a president making policy decisions off of day trading, which is exactly what we have with President Trump. He is making the right policy decisions that the American people need. We are also nowhere close to actually going into, so I even hesitate to say the words like austerity measures. We're not there, but we needed to grow up as a country, and we need to stop the partying and the spending. We had the Fed endlessly printing money. Things were in a very bad economic situation. The stock market had to adjust for the fact that it was artificially inflated for many years, that we had fake jobs numbers coming out. I could go on with the examples of why the stock market needs a correction. And I love that we have a president who's not worried about re-election, but is worried about setting us back on the right track. So yeah, we could take a hit for a day or a week or a month or a quarter, whatever it is. That is a necessary growing pain for us to get back on track.
Yeah, especially because the last administration we were spending like we were Hunter Biden on a coke binge in Vegas. Steven, yeah, but okay, that's what I'm trying to get. Why is it that traders are reacting so harshly so quickly when it's not like, oh, 10 years ago we had this kind of tariff thing, and no, it was like a month ago. And like everything is fine. And I don't know what's with the quick knee-jerk reactions to Trump saying, hey, we might actually try to better American people's lives going forward here.
It may actually be the big hedge funds. They'll see something, they'll make a panic of it, they'll artificially drop the market. Then the retail investor like you and I, we panic. We go, oh my gosh, my 401k, what's this president doing? And immediately we blame the president of the United States. And then they rush back in and they buy Apple and Google and Walmart at cheaper prices. So I'm actually glad you brought this up. I was busy filming all day. I need to go in and buy more of the stock market, because when the market goes down, as soon as it goes back up, everybody goes, oh gosh, I should have bought while it was down. But while it's down, people really do. They feel this emotional reaction to money. But the markets are always fickle this way. They bounce up and down on any piece of news. Everything's going to get ironed out, just like it did. Remember on Liberation Day, April 2nd, took a nosedive, and then it went higher than that. I mean, I'm up 20% on my Tesla stock. Thank you, Elon Musk.
Yeah, seems like it's all it is just going on discounts. Except for, hey, don't trade on President Trump saying, hey, it's a good time to buy, because that might be insider trading that he's sharing with the entire planet. Aaron,
hey, I don't want to cut you off, but I don't listen to Trump when it comes to the stock market. I listen to Nancy Pelosi.
Oh yeah, her husband does pretty well on in the markets there.